Hi there, this is Michele Ho Lung, and I'm so excited for tonight because we have Kathryn Soraiz on with us tonight, as well as I'm going to be introducing to you my co-host, and my co-host is Jade Gaul. What would you like to say to our guests and to our viewers? And welcome.
Well, many people already know me as Jeremy, but what they don't know is that I've been transgender my whole life. I've been hiding it because of social issues and being attacked. And I mean physically, literally being attacked by people. And It took a while for me to get the support system behind me, find the right people to talk to, and really get to a point where I can accept myself as who I am, and are able to, as you said, present myself appropriately. It's been a journey for several years. I've been working on it for quite a while, and now I'm finally at this point out to pretty much everyone. There's only maybe a few people who don't know, and that's just due to the fact of lack of communication. So, other than that, it's everybody in my community and my family is aware and have been supporting me on what I've been doing. So,
Well,
is
I
that
just want to say, I really take my hat off to you for coming out, and it's something that is beautiful because from what I know about trans is that it's where it has to be. It's something inside of you that doesn't feel right, and it's not a choice. It's something that is just who you are, and I'm so pleased that you've actually shared on our show because this show for me is about diversity. It's about respecting people for who they are, who they show up to be as. And, it's a beautiful thing when we can accept people for who we are and not judging people because of color, race. Like I got judged in Jamaica for being Chinese. I was told to go back to where I came from, and I was born there, third generation. So all these things come together, and it's a really nice thing. And we talk about interesting topics on the show. Would you agree, Jade?
oh, we do?
And some of it is controversial too. I mean, woo-woo stuff, energy and vibration,
Yeah.
and things that are out there that we just want people to understand that we're all people and we connect with love and we connect to help and empower. And that's what the show is about, is to empower the viewers. You might need a little bit of just one thing you're missing, and we share it on the show, and you go, "Oh, I was just looking for that," and everything works beautiful when that happens. So, um, anyways, let's now turn the spotlight, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, on to Kathryn. And Kathryn, we all know you as a sleep sage. Like, that's a thing that I
Mhm.
remember is that, from I've known you several years now. You're one of my clients as well, and you've always been excited about sleep. And so now, what's with this shift to the ND plus NT equals love? And you're going to have to explain some of these terms to us, because I think I know what it is, but I'm not the expert on this. You are, and you've had to deal with this for decades because of your love for someone really special, who I think you told me when I first met you, it was your soulmate, your love. It was meant to be. There was no question. This was just fated to be, with the heavens and the stars and everything lined up. So yes, can you share what's the shift and
Absolutely. For starters, Michelle, thank you for allowing me a platform to speak. And also, Jade, respect that you are able now, have created the environment in which you have the support to live who you truly are. So well done. Good job. That did not come easily. It was not like falling off a log. Respect. So ND+NT equals love. What that means is ND stands for neurodivergent, plus NT is neurotypical. Now, what are those? What do those even mean? Well, actually, there are 12 different, a list of 12 different types of neurodivergent. Neurotype isn't necessarily a standard term in neuroscience or psychology. We are familiar, a lot of us, with people who are on the autism spectrum. We might know some people that are maybe obsessive compulsive. Might know some people who have Down syndrome. All of those are various neurotypes, and within the autistic spectrum, there are many different levels of autism. There are levels of autism where it is nearly impossible for the individual to communicate. There are levels where someone is constantly touching on others. They need that sensory experience. They're attracted to that sensory experience, whereas others are unable to receive a hug even from a dearly loved family member. They simply cannot tolerate it. And all of us have some form of this. Some people who may not be autistic may still be sensory sensitive. So what does that mean? Like, just not like the feel of certain types of cloth. Wool itches, it's uncomfortable, and they can't stand to wear it. Maybe they can only find themselves in cotton linens and natural fibers. We all have aspects, even if we don't necessarily have the symptoms or the diagnosis for autism. We all share some of these same types of, we can all share some forms of these same types of patterns. One of the things that I only recently discovered, just in the last year, was that, you know how we say that, well, 1 out of 2 marriages is going to end in divorce. It's actually not quite like that. It's less than 50% for first-time marriages. It grows higher, 60, 70% for second and third marriages. For a marriage that has one or more members that are autistic, that divorce rate, actually that's the dissolution rate. That could be divorce, it could be from annulments. That rate goes up to 83%. I just find that heartbreaking. Now, my husband has Asperger's, which is a very high functioning type of autism. Asperger's occurs about 1 in every 200 people. Someone on the autistic spectrum may show up about 1 in 88 people. Asperger's is less common. And if you see someone who is, just really excels, super excels, and is highly focused on maybe 1 or 2 topics, that could be a sign. They frequently excel in the fields of mathematics, computer science, linguistics, and music. So math is very big in their mind. And they become really experts on subjects. It could become experts on a particular type of bug. It could be expert in a particular area within the field of math.
So they're brilliant, is what you're saying. They're brilliant.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Yes, absolutely brilliant. it can often be genius level, and yet lack social awareness. So one way to think of what lacking in social awareness is to consider a couple sharing an umbrella. Now imagine that it's raining. It's just pouring. The husband opens an umbrella to cover he and his wife. The umbrella is directly over his head, and the wife is more out to the perimeter, off to the side. And that will seem balanced for that individual. They won't notice anything is wrong. She's getting wet, but he's staying perfectly dry. Or the autistic, the Asperger individual is perfectly dry. This makes logical sense. The lack of social awareness is not quite understanding that, okay, I'm doing fine. I didn't think to look over next to me to see how my partner's doing. It's not done because they're narcissistic and only they matter. It simply does not occur to them that there's anything to look out for. Once they've taken care of themselves, that's really all that matters. It's not done out of malice. They can love the individual very much, have great love, concern, respect for the individual, and still leave them to get drenched. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's really an awareness thing, right? It's fascinating because what I've learned over the years is that we have our own filter on. So if we're not thinking about from a certain perspective, we'll miss some of the things that are present or obvious to other people if we are not able to view things from that perspective. So,
Exactly.
what I can see that creating is a lot of emotional turmoil, in terms of, when you think, if I'm looking at it from my perspective and say, you're getting me drenched, don't you care about me? And at
Yes.
the same point, the other person is going, I held up the umbrella, didn't I? I took it up. I'm intent. That's why, then get closer or something. But I held open the umbrella so you wouldn't get wet too.
And there's a lot of miscommunication
Yeah.
that can happen
Mhm.
as we sort of talk past one another. Now, there are things, communication is a skill. And often what happens is that in these types of relationships, the other partner tends to be highly evolved in communication. The marriages that work, like marriages that work between NT and NT, neurotypicals, what we think of the normal individual walking the street, the one who would have the reaction that we would expect. They're with their partner, there's an umbrella, and they both try to huddle underneath it so that each gets the same amount of the umbrella and is covered, is protected. Even in neurotypical marriages where divorce happens with heartbreaking regularity, so often it's the communication, the inability to communicate, to come to understanding, that results in great divides in relationship that ultimately winds up breaking the marriage. Money issues break the marriage. And why do money issues happen? Probably as a starter or related is that there were communication issues in dealing with that subject. So in an ND plus NT marriage, a neurodiverse plus neurotypical marriage, or maybe they're not married, maybe they're significant others, they're partners, does not matter. What is so essential is that there be a willingness to grow on both parts. For the NT for the neurotypical individual to understand this is how my partner is. My partner isn't trying to pull something. My partner isn't trying to harm me. My partner isn't trying to disrespect me. This is who my partner is. Now, what a lot of neurotypicals experience is profound loneliness. Feeling that we're alone in a marriage. We're doing the parenting by ourselves. We're the ones that are looking to better our relationship because the other person, the neurodiverse individual, hasn't noticed. Not because they don't care, but simply because it doesn't occur to them.
It's not on their radar. Yeah.
It's not on their radar. It
So
flies
is there
under
is
their
there a
radar.
is there a solution to over all these years that you've come to that you can help people out there, you know, going through their because you have decades of experience, you know, and I know you've been analyzing it forever, trying to make headway because you're committed to this beautiful love you have, right? So is there something that can be used or a system that is possible to implement where, you know, it could be something really fun, but it's just oh, hey, do you remember to do that? Or, you know, it's an awareness kind of, but is there something that you've come up with that could be useful?
I'm so glad you asked. Absolutely. We have spent tens of thousands of dollars, countless hours, so many counselors, tried so many programs. And what we have found that helps us, not the only thing, but some of the things don't cost a dime. It's just about learning. And one is about the neurotypical really appreciating who the neurodivergent partner is, accepting them as they are. And one of the things that we get often as neurotypicals is that same sort of patterning. We need to understand, though, that we need to look after ourselves, put that oxygen mask on first, because the neurodivergent is not going to be the one helping us. I will say I have literally been on death's door without getting the support that I needed until I asked for it. Not because my husband didn't care about me. When I would ask for help, when I would ask for products, for instance, I nearly, this may be TMI, I nearly bled out from fibroids that were in my uterus twice. My blood level went down to 2.75 the first time and 2.9 the second time. I had so many doctors and nurses coming into my room in the hospital after I was helped and had numerous transfusions saying, you're not supposed to be alive when your blood level goes down below 5. And I was lower than that. Now, my husband loves me. It did not occur to him, hey, you're telling me that you can't walk down to the post, to the mailbox to pick up the post. That's okay. I'll do it for you. And so every day he would go and do it for me. I had so little blood in my body, I could barely make sense of things. And it was not until my youngest daughter came up to me crying, telling me she'd had a bad dream. She dreamt that I had died. Brings tears to my eyes. She dreamt that I had died because I was so sick and had not sought help. Well, let me tell you, that was a wake-up call to me. And I called my husband, and he immediately took me over to my doctor's office. And in less than an hour, they'd performed a procedure that helped to stop the bleeding, that tended to the fibroids. And that was less than an hour from crossing the threshold of his office without an appointment. The nurses in his office told me I looked like death. I was so pale. How could my husband not notice? It wasn't his fault. It wasn't his doing. He simply could not see that. If I send him to the grocery store and I ask him to get something for me, there may be the biggest sale going on his favorite product. And it's like he has blinders on and he doesn't see it. He might talk to me later and say, such and such store is having a sale on something. But he didn't pick any up for himself because it didn't occur to him he likes that item. And while he's picking up something just next to it, he could also pick up something that he likes. The brain is simply wired differently.
It's really amazing. I mean, I'm seeing possibilities of teaching people about this on a big scale so that we have a more, what's the word? It's a gentle understanding of the fact that we take for granted that how we think is how everybody is. So if they're doing that they're doing it to us because, you know, nobody does that. Nobody can't see that somebody doesn't look healthy. Nobody can be so focused on something that they don't see a sale of something they like. I mean, this to me is pretty what's the word? Very, it's almost like a revelation to me because I don't really have anybody that I deal with who is on the autism spectrum. Jade does, but you know, but I've been pretty lucky myself. However, it just helps me now to actually understand that this is something that is normal for people who have to deal with loved ones, even not just loved ones, people they work with, people you
Exactly.
play games with. It's an educational necessity, I think, almost. Because once our eyes are open, then you start to look at things with more understanding. Because the first thing now is, wait a second, is there something about this person that I am not aware of, which would explain what it is that I'm feeling when I know they're a really nice person. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it, it just is mind-boggling to me that this is, and I know it is very prevalent out there.
We're unaware.
Yeah,
And
we're unaware.
autism and diagnosis of people on the autistic spectrum is only growing with each and every year. More people are being tested. It's becoming more. Does it mean that more people are becoming autistic? I think it's just that more people are really beginning to understand it exists, get tested, or have their youngsters tested, because training can help these individuals fit more into normal society. Now, they can still be very successful, have jobs, and be very creative and adjust. It takes a lot of effort on their part. It's much easier beginning at younger ages. Now, having a relationship is kind of dodgy in the best of cases. And neurotypicals, with marrying or partnering with another neurotypical, someone who might have the same sorts of responses, and they still might not speak the same language. We need to learn how to speak each other's language. So one of the things I was going to continue to share about the story, I was in the hospital and whatnot. Once my husband realized that there was something wrong with me, once I'd gone into surgery, he made a pest out of himself to the medical staff, wanting to know what my condition was, how I was, when I'd be out, what was going on with me, what were they doing with me, what was the expected outcome, what should he know, how could he best take care of me. He was just all over that. And why was it? Because now he understood there was something going on. That is one of the ways that it was one of the ways he was showing his love. Now, another thing, something that can happen is that because there's this lack of social awareness, there's also a lack of awareness within themselves. So they may not, I won't say may not, tend not to view themselves as others might view them. So what do I mean by that? We naturally, before going out, say, to appear on this show or to go to a festive event with family, say maybe a marriage or a graduation, it may not seem anything for us to try to look our best, to be presentable, to think about how we're presenting ourselves in the world. Someone with autism may think, well, I'm not the one that's on stage. I'm not the one that people are looking at. So what they're wearing, how they are, how they're what their hygiene is like, may not even come to mind. That might seem almost incredible, but I can assure you that it can be just very natural, because they're not really noticing about how they fit into the world. Talking with other people, being socially active or aware, at ease with parties, at dinner parties, or at events, talking with someone over the phone or on the computer. It looks different. it is different unless they've practiced a whole lot, put a lot of effort in
Or
to,
if they have someone like you, someone on their side of the court who gives them the flags to say, you can't leave like that. You need to do this, or you need. So I guess what this is saying to me is that the partner, if you're in a relationship with someone with on the autism spectrum, it's almost like you need to really spend some time to understand the ins and outs of it and how you can be there to support, and also how you can relate without feeling hurt or left out, or just because you understand how they're looking at it. It's always that thing to kind of put yourself in their shoes, is it, would you say?
it is about doing your best to speak clearly,
Mm.
to make yourself more easily understood. Again, these same things work for neurotypical marriages as well. Because when we're able to speak more clearly and verify what we're hearing and understanding, then we're able to find common ground and connection and build trust. That's hugely important. And one of the things that neurotypical partners in this sort of relationships experience, I'll say again, is that profound loneliness. And it can be loneliness to the point that it creates PTSD. It can be loneliness. There can be trauma, because what is pretty typical is that those with autism will experience frustration trying to be in the world, but not being of the world as everyone else so effortlessly seems to be. And that will create some friction and some looking for a word, sorry, the word just escapes me, a pattern of that will make it harder for them to remain in a more neutral state. And instead, what can happen, there will be, it's not uncommon, especially for for those on the autistic spectrum who are not so high functioning, that they will react violently. They will have a meltdown. Everyone on the planet is capable of a meltdown. And at some point in our lives, when we were little kids or even adults, I don't know about you guys, I could still have a meltdown. And it is much more possible for someone on the autistic spectrum to have a meltdown, because those with autism do not feel the same way we feel. They're not really cognizant of what is going on within them. They think. And simply becoming aware that they are able to make the connection with what they are experiencing, that there's something there, rather than they feel an emotion and don't know how to deal with it, and it results in a tantrum of sorts, throwing things, yelling, the hitting themselves, hitting a wall, or hitting another individual. And then there can be blackouts afterwards, where once they've calmed down, they're not even aware that they have participated in such an event. If you're the neurotypical partner, It's really hard because you might not be believed. How do you manage with that? How do you cope with it? Primarily, as I said before, you put your own oxygen mask on first. You look around, you set up a community, just as Jade has, a supportive community that can be there, that feeling, giving that feeling of emotional support. I know my husband loves me, yet when I lost my parents, for instance, wasn't that he didn't care. He knew we were going to the funeral. He knew that I was sad and other things. At that point in time, we still had a lot to do to grow our communication. And so we were still at the stage in our marriage where if we needed to go someplace, he would focus on getting himself ready. And we had 4 kids. He'd focus on getting himself ready and would say, like, well, I'll just wait in the car. I might not have taken a shower yet. There were 4 kids to dress. There were, what are we taking? Do we need any extra food or, things such as that. And it felt like I was just weighed down with it. And I was already weighed down with the loss of one of my parents. It wasn't done on purpose. By simply being able for me to keep my focus and for me to be more neutral, then I'm in a better position where I can speak and clearly relate what would be helpful to me. And then my spouse is just happy to help out. But there's some times where, like, I don't like being the adult, feeling like I'm the only adult. And that's dangerous. And the reason that's dangerous is because it's too easy to turn what is going on, a very natural situation, and turn it into finger pointing and resentment on the part of the neurotypical. So the biggest thing that I can say is that it's the neurotypical's job to make sure that we get to be expert communicators, that we learn how to meet our own emotional needs, even if it means telling saying to our neurodivergent partner, hey, this is what I need. Don't hint at it, because that is not going to work. I didn't want to feel like I was bossing him around or just ordering him. And I don't mean ordering. I don't mean about like just controlling another individual. It's simply clearly stating what I'm looking for.
So what you're saying is that in a neurotypical, neurodiverse, neurodivergent relationship, it's on the shoulders of the neurotypical person, really, because you need to set clear expectations on what it is needed in different situations, all different situations. It doesn't matter what it is, because they're not looking at things in the same way that everybody else looks at it. And you think it's obvious if you don't know, right? And some people choose to not know and not be aware. They just choose to say that you're this and you're that, and that's why everything ends in divorce, even though there could be the deepest love there. But it's a misunderstanding, and it's that understanding that the onus is on you as a neurotypical person to take the initiative, to do the thinking for everybody, and that's where you feel like you're the only adult there, right? Which is
It starts
I
with
feel it that
us.
way. And
It starts with us at understanding how is it that my partner feels safe and secure. For instance, a gentleman that I spoke with had a neurodivergent son. As it happens, his son also had Alzheimer's, or not Alzheimer's, Asperger's, I apologize. And one of the things that his son would do was that if he came from behind his son and laid a hand on the shoulders just to get their attention, just to get his attention, the son would completely wig out. Now, if the son saw that his father was approaching and the father put his hand on the shoulder, there was no problem. But it could not be from behind. Ever, ever. That was just how he was wired. So having patience and taking time to understand how your partner's put together. And listen, I truly believe this works in neurotypical marriages too. We need that time to help understand one another. Because as you so astutely said, Michele, we don't know. We only see through things through our own eyes, and we think everybody else is operating and comes to the same conclusions we do. They don't. They really don't. And helping to understand who it is that you're sharing your life with, or sharing time with, or sharing a desk with at work. It's so helpful. It
I
makes
find this so
calmer.
informative, Kathryn. Do you have any plans to share this or be sharing this, putting out courses or any kind of workshops on this? Because for me, I would think there's a lot of people going, wait a second, is that really what's going on? Like, how do I get better at this? Because I've known you for many years, and you have a gift of just being able to listen to one person and then beautifully describing it when the other person can't understand what it is, is trying to be communicated, right? So having this perspective of how the dynamics happens in the spectrum, and also with your background as well in your therapy work that you also do, which you didn't mention. But I'll just, they can actually contact you. I'd imagine will put up your contact information after the show. But the thing is, I can see a lot of value. People going, wait a second, I don't even know how to start to negotiate or navigate these waters. So how do you have a plan to put something out there? Maybe not right now, but maybe a little bit later.
I think that this is a very untapped
Hmm.
spectrum. It really, I don't see this. I'm extremely good at research, and there is not much on this. There truly isn't.
Because
And what I'd like to say, there are some things that you can do again that work in neurotypical marriages, neurotypical to neurotypical marriages. Get some sleep. And this is that is my area, is sleep, because not having enough sleep already creates a stressor. And if we're stressed, and when our bodies go into a sympathetic state, our physiology naturally shunts blood away from our prefrontal cortex. This isn't, we don't even grow into this until we're in our 20s. And it's how we analyze and reason and form judgment. What happens is that when we're in a sympathetic state, a fight or flight state, when we're nervous, anxious, just really unsure and panicked, then the blood is leaving here and it goes back into our limbic system. It goes into our survival brain, and blood is routed to our major organs, and especially, actually not our major organs. Let me reframe that. It goes into our hearts and our lungs primarily, and goes into our arms, and it goes into our thighs. Why is that? We might need to lift a rock. We might need to push somebody away. We might need to run. Our body's been built like that. It's hardwired like that. And it has been for millennia. That's just how we are.
The worst part about that is it takes away from your body actually healing itself or working, with your immune
Absolutely.
system. And then
Absolutely.
disease comes in.
Our body is not able
Yeah.
to heal when we are in that state. It adversely affects our immunity. We're not able to resist disease or to heal when we're in that state. So what I focus on is on helping people get more in and remain more in a parasympathetic state. Now, some of you may know of Justin Furness.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Furness has LifePrint, the LifePrint program. One of the things that Justin shared with me that was just so helpful and very simple was about the trust circle. Having conversations with people, whoever those individuals may be. Whenever we feel ourselves frustrated because we don't think we're being understood, maybe we're frustrated because we can't find the right word to get across to this other individual so that they can better understand us. Maybe it's that we feel we're being ignored altogether. And let me tell you, that's one of the things that neurotypicals will experience with having a neurodivergent partner. They think they're on the subject, and actually they keep changing it. Or they only want to talk about the thing that is directly in front of them because that's all they see. So bottom line, what I bring up is that there is a trust circle. And going inside that trust circle, there are the 3 C's, which we're about out of time right now. I'm not going to go into this right now, but maybe this is like a subliminal hint, Michele. Maybe if you're nice enough to invite me back again, then maybe we can have a conversation about this.
For sure.
That when there is the sense that my temper is starting to flare, I'm starting to get uneasy, I'm not neutral, I'm something other than in a neutral emotional state. Step back, step away. I have many different means by which to help someone change state. And really, truly, I will say it's thanks to my marriage that I have grown in these ways to learn them. And so my marriage has brought me quite a bit. It's helped me to grow, to expand, to become more of the adult that I want to be.
That's beautiful,
Why?
Catherine, because that's the thing I say when we have difficult times. A lot of times when you look back, though, that's what was a catalyst for the learning and how we grow in life. Because to meet those challenges, we have to go bigger than who we are. We have to get better. We have to explore. We have to grow and learn if we want to stay ahead of that negativity that wants to consume us. So that is beautiful. And yeah, there's things that happen in our lives that if it didn't happen, we wouldn't be where we are right now with the knowledge we have right now, because we wouldn't have gone looking and searching for a solution to
Exactly.
whatever that challenge was. But we're almost
I
out of
totally
time right now. So I guess the thing to summarize it is that if I may, neurodivergent, we really need to appreciate and learn more about what the special people we have around us, where they are really, because it's a spectrum. So understand where they are in that spectrum, understand what triggers them, what they are aware of, because that awareness factor is really important,
Mhm.
because it's all what we, and then see where we are differing so we can get into that space and understand how we can get to support and also build up on that relationship to make it better.
Exactly. And then finding the common ground.
Yeah,
Start with the common ground. Where can we say yes? Where do we
that's nice.
agree?
Hmm.
And then moving closer and closer and closer and really build that relationship, really solidify it. And because I mean, it's like saying someone who only speaks Italian and someone who only speaks Spanish can never marry. Well, no, they might still fall in love and find a way
Is to
to
find the
communicate.
fun in it too, right? To laugh together and to have fun
Ex-
together.
Exactly. So the neurodivergent may have a harder time um, changing state back to one of neutrality because they're and may not even notice that there is some emotional state
Mhm.
that is creating a crisis within them. That doesn't mean that they can't learn,
Mhm.
that they cannot become aware of, I'm feeling this way, and I'm going to take myself on a walk. I'm going to go have a drink of water. I'm going to settle myself down. Just as we neurotypicals need to understand, vitally important that we understand I am just, I am not playing on all cylinders right now. I'm just getting mad, and that's not helping anything. I need to step back. I need to change my
Mhm.
state.
Put on your oxygen mask.
There you go. And I need to change this so that I can then again participate as my best self
Mhm.
and understand people who are autistic. It's not that there's anything wrong with them. They are how they are.
And they're just different.
They're hardwired differently,
Differently.
is all. And as neurotypicals, we can't be there just pointing fingers saying, well, you're not as good as I am because I understand this stuff.
You said something really key in the introduction, though, Catherine. I just want to say it quickly, which is that even your typicals, we have some of those autistic tendencies or
Oh,
fetishes or
yes.
whatever, and it's just not all of them all at the same time. So we have to give respect to the people who are on the autistic spectrum when they're working through it every day of their lives and having all these things to deal with and figure out how they when they're aware and when they're really working at it, to give them respect as to where they're going with it and how the effort they're putting into it to to try to relate to us who are neurotypical. So on that note, what I want to do, we're at the top of the hour, but we started a couple of minutes late, is I want to ask, because it is a Sparkle Experience show, whether or not anybody here wanted to get a mini little sparkle before we end the night.
Um,
Oh, yeah, okay.
yeah.
I don't think Seema, you've been here before. I don't know if you've been in Joel's group or,
No, well, I've been in Joel's group, but
but not
not,
when I did a
this is my first
sparkle.
time here. Yeah,
Okay, but not probably not when I did a sparkle. So
no.
so if we wanted, so the thing with sparkle, it is a gentle energy. It's something that I found out I had a gift with, just as an introduction. And with sparkle, you will get entangled in the frequency, which is what I tend to generate. And in that, you may find that you may find yourself feeling lighter, brighter, with more clarity, with pains disappearing as a result of connecting when we connect. The thing with it is too is that it may not be obvious what the shifts are, because you mentioned programming and things like that. Well, in my experience, when you are able to release when I'm doing the work, when you are able to let go of anything that's, holding it in or not wanting to forgive and all those things, when you are ready to set out the intention that you really are ready for a change, and you want to shift and you want to change how you're holding things in, that miracles are possible, physical, mental, emotional. And it's really something that it's can't be explained, but it can be. It's all quantum, it's all energy, it's all frequency. And so anyway, let's get started. So what I wanted to, if you want to participate, is just take a deep breath in. You can close your eyes and then just allow yourself to connect. Forget all the worries. Just allow yourself to breathe in all the goodness from the heavens. Breathe in all the blessings. See yourself connected to Source, God, Spirit, Creator, wherever that is for you, universe, and just allow this energy to come from the heavens through to your crown chakra at the top of your head, and allow that energy in and allow it to go wherever it needs to go within your whole body, to all the cells, everywhere, all the nooks and crannies. And then allow yourself, as you breathe out, to let everything that doesn't serve you leave through the window, through the doors, through the cord at the very bottom of your foot, going down to your own special crystal at the center of the earth, where it is cleansed and purified and filled with Mother Nature, nurturing energy, grounding energy, healing, that is so beautifully grounding. And allow that energy, once it's purified, to come back up through the other cord at the bottom of your foot to join this beautiful cosmic energy that's already circulating through you. And I said, breathe in all the goodness, all the blessings, all the nourishment, all the wisdom, all the knowledge, and breathe out anything that is not serving you. Regret, sorrows, fears, blame, shame, doubts, judgments, whatever it is that's not serving you. And just allow yourself to keep bringing in this energy and feel that energy moving through, helping you to get re-energized, refocused, and tuned in, tuned up, within, without, and all around. And just know you are worthy, you are deserving, and you are beautiful. And let's send up some beautiful intention for everyone who is viewing this, everyone in the world, to have more tolerance, respect, love of everyone in the world, no matter who they are, what they are, or what they're thinking they're showing up as. Just being this diversity, we all share a common thing in that we are all human beings. We are all beautiful inside and out. We just have to allow each other to be who we are and to give respect and love. Okay, how is that? You can open your eyes and yeah, how are you feeling now, Jade? What does that mean?
Very good.
Is there a difference from before we started the sparkle to now?
Yeah, and I feel more energized. Good for tonight.
Good for tonight? Good, good. Kathryn?
I feel tingly inside and lighter.
Oh, good. That's great. Okay, wonderful. So anyway, it was very nice to have you share that with us all. That, I mean, that took a lot of courage too, Kathryn. You know,
Thank
so hats off to you too, because I mean, it's not always easy to share what is deepest in one's heart when, you know, you work through things. And you're doing it, I know, to help other people. So that is so beautiful. Because we give up on the people we love because we don't understand them or we don't understand ourselves. We know we should, but we don't know how to. We know we shouldn't get mad, but we don't. We think that, you know, it's within me, so I should get angry because anybody else would get angry, right? But it's when the heart kicks in, you go, wait a second, but I know the person loves me. This is not why they're doing it. It's not why. It might be a result of something I don't understand. I'm not there. There's something I don't know. There's something I don't appreciate. There's something that I'm not connecting with. And when we connect to the heart, all things are possible because the heart is the most powerful organ in our body. It can send love thousands of miles away in an instant. It is faster than the speed of light. And there's data to support that scientifically. I'm not just speaking this. There is data that supports this. And when you have heart and mind coherence and your thoughts and your intentions marry, and they're all going through the same frequency, when they are cohesive, when you get entrained into sparkle, for example, then you get pulled up to a different level of frequency and vibration. And you may find that you're buzzing, like Kathryn says, right? You may find that there is a difference in how you feel in terms of lightness on your feet when you stand up too. That's all possible. And when you notice that, the question is, and I challenge you to really think about this, is there anything that you were thinking before? And usually you may not notice it, but other people around you may, which is you may have been getting mad at somebody cutting you off on the road, and all of a sudden you notice that's not triggering you anymore. And that's because somehow within the sparkle session, that was just gone, plunk, it's gone. Gone and done. Pattern is gone, trigger is gone, and you're in this space where you're in a different place and you may not realize it because sparkle goes very deep, very fast, depending on how much you are allowing it in. So anyway, yeah,
And may I say one last thing?
sure.
Last thing, because I may have given, I may not have framed myself well. And I don't want anyone on this call to think that I am saying that if they are in a partnership with someone who is neurodivergent, that they themselves, the neurotypical, needs to sort of hang back, simply respecting and looking after and making things easier for someone who is neurodivergent. Always, always, always in a neurotypical to neurotypical relationship, neurodivergent, neurotypical relationship, it's so, so important to remember. Think, for me, this is meaningful. Think of the golden rule. Do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. It doesn't say do unto others better than you would do for yourself. We still need to keep ourselves first and look and make sure that oxygen mask is on, that we are caring for ourselves. Self-care is extremely, extremely important. And I'm not suggesting that we create an imbalance here. It's very important to honor yourself and your own needs, because only then can you truly be giving to others and help and have great relationship with others. And I just wanted to make sure that I got that across.
I
Thank
think
you
you,
so
I
much
think
for
you
letting
did.
me join today.
Yeah, I think you did get that across. I mean, you said first off is we need to put the oxygen mask off, right? On, right? So right there is that thing about looking after yourself, because you can't look after anyone else unless you look after yourself first. That is a given, right? Number one thing is we need to be looking after ourselves first. You can't really take care of anything else. So I think that is a given. The question I had though before we leave is, if someone wants to talk to you about any of this stuff, are you okay with them reaching out to see if you're having a course or what, you know?
Certainly, it got laid on my heart very, very recently to just begin speaking on TikTok about this, and where that will go to, where that will wind up. Honestly, I'm not sure. As I said, I have been involved in this for the last 34 and a half years. And this part is new. This part just got laid on my heart to do. And thank you for allowing me to come on, Michele, so that I could share some of this. I think that it is important. I'm not sure how to reach people, and I'm simply going to try to do it, and maybe not try. I'm going to do it, and I'll let you know as things evolve.
Oh,
It's really important though. The 83% marriage dissolution rate. It's so saddening, and I know that it can be different. I
yeah.
know that there is possibility, and I know that, gosh, if we have the right tool in our pocket, it can make all the difference.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So, anyways, we're at the end of the show now. So I really appreciate everybody coming on. It's been great. And any questions for Kathryn before we leave? Anyone?
Okay. Well,
No?
it's a pleasure to be on tonight. Thank you so much, everybody that attended. And if you're watching on the replay, and you have any questions, how to get a hold of me. Gosh, I hadn't considered that far. I wasn't thinking that anybody might, but
Well, we typically put an email address on the guest page.
okay.
Okay. Well,
Well,
thank you
thank
for
you.
joining us.
And I'll tell you, maybe contacting me on Messenger might be even easier.
Ah, okay. All right,
Or I
great.
am the only Kathryn Soraiz in existence. There may be a lot of John Pauls or about some common name. Perhaps not so many Michele Ho Lungs, but
That is right.
I can tell you there's only one Kathryn Soraiz. I'm on Messenger.
Yeah. Okay, well, great. Thank you so much for joining us again, and we'll see you again. Whoops.
Thank
That's
you. Bye,
okay.
Jade. Bye, Michele.
Bye.
Okay, take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a nice, see you next time.
Yeah. Oh, and have a great 4th of July.
Yeah,
Happy
you
4th,
too.
everybody.
Okay, take care.